We don't exactly know the meta. Usually it's the third week right after Christmas. In December we get the ban list, and that's in effect for January. So it depends on how the ban list goes, but usually the January ban list is the slaughter list. So things like Tundra, Cashier Unicorn, Kieran, a lot of the Snake Eye cards like Flameberge are probably going to be gone. And I'm doing some of this based on what I think is going to happen, and I also am basing this realistically off of Malice and Ryziel and how these hand traps will interact with the new decks. So take that in stride, and we're going to be talking about how good these will be and which ones I could see being not so great. So I do hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you haven't already seen my post today from the card drive, the first package did just go out with Melodious. It's very exciting to start seeing players get their cards in hand, be able to use those and start their journey. If you want to support all my endeavors, I do have the link down below, or you can find the TCG link as well, where you can go ahead and go on TCG Player using my link. Order any cards you're going to order anyways, and then support the channel that way. I really do appreciate it, and without further ado, let's hop right on into the video. So we have Tier 0, High Impact, Low Impact, yet to see if they're going to be good, and then we have Don't Play These. And I mean, like, if we're talking about Don't Play These, I'm just going to talk about Meister, right? Like, Meister realistically just was amazing when it's amazing, but like right now it's just not it. Maybe if Orcus becomes like the be-all, end-all deck, then maybe, but like, we'll see, right? We haven't got new support or anything yet, but for now, Meister just isn't there. It is what it is. As far as like Ryziel or like Malice, I think that if the Snake Eye cards get hit to a degree that I think they're going to get hit to, that we probably have Typhoon as like yet to see. It's like pretty good right now, but it's between yet to see and like don't play this. And that's normal. Cards like this will rotate out and rotate in. They're like really good or really bad, so it really just depends. Typhoon has always been a really big favorite of mine. I think the card is really solid, but we're at a turning point where it might not be that great. Now, on the contrary of Typhoon, we do have a different card that a lot of people have been talking about lately. And to be honest, I would say it's pretty low impact. This is the Vados card. It's pretty cool. If you have it in your hand, your opponent has a field spell, you can chain it and pop the field spell and give this to your opponent. And I believe if it like leaves the field, then you like nuke your opponent's board, which is kind of cool. But like, pretty low impact. I still don't think that it's like the time to play this. It's very specific. It is nice because the two field spells that we're going up against are both very good. And you can at least chain it to Ryziel Cross as well, so you can just like pop their card immediately, so they don't have the effect to go ahead and negate regardless. So it's an interesting one. Wouldn't play it. Not that fantastic, but it's kind of lower impact. So maybe we see it end up being a bit better, but again, we're not too sure yet. So I guess we can even put it as like yet to see. We'll have to see, and maybe it'll be good. Ash, I think Ash is just always tier 0. You're using this to stop Molcharmies. You're using this to stop generic things all across the game. Card is just broken. It's been broken since Maximum Crisis. So I think that Ash is still just going to be be-all, end-all, the best hand traps at the end of the day. Even though there's like crazy hand traps that we have, the most generically consistent one throughout every format is Ash. It's just been the best one. Imperm is going to be high impact. It's still going to be really good if you hold it for your turn for things like Detonator. I do like this card a lot still, but to be honest, I think that Valor is pretty low impact. I am rotating Valor out of my list right now, and to be honest, after we saw everything from Bologna, we've been seeing a really high popularity in Bell, but like, Bell isn't that good into next format. I think that Bell is really solid right now, and I've had to put it as like the highest of yet to see, because I think that right now it's a huge opportunity to play Bell and do really well with this card in your deck. But looking at the better decks from next format, considering there's a ban list, I don't know if it's going to be like that good. I think right now it's really smart, and I think that right now Valor is insane, but next format, Valor just feels really lackluster, like something that I wouldn't really be happy to play at the moment. Nibiru, high impact as possible. Same with Droll. I made a comment in my last video, and I'm going to make the same comment. When I put on my Handtrap guide, and I talked about these two, I got called dumb in every regard for talking about these two against Malice and Yugioh. These cards are just broken against Malice and Yugioh, and they're a staple 3-ofs in everyone's deck list right now. And this could change. Absolutely. I only know as much as you do right now in terms of testing. But, like, if your opponent goes X search Thode and you droll them and all of a sudden duo drives off, like, that's kind of crazy. And then if you're playing against Malice, even if they go, like, Signet Mining Search and then you droll them and they just shut off of searches, it's still really a W at that point because it's still going to be a lot of things you're still shutting them off from. I do like Droll a lot. I think the card's going to be really impactful. I think that Droll and Nibiru are going to be in the main deck. Ash is going to be in the main deck. These are just cards that we're going to see a lot more of going in the next format. DD Crow, I would say yet to see. It's another card that's, like, not that good right now, but, like, Bishals are, like, super high impact, but not in the way that you would think. Bishals are really good if you are playing Malice, because they're, like, really W good to play those cards, but they're also really good if your opponent is setting up to use things like White Binder on your turn because they have a Bishal in hand. They'll banish a White Binder and link it off, leave it in grave, so that they can Bishal it on your turn and then bring it back and banish it out of the grave. So if you wait till the end phase and then Bishal their White Binder or whatever link 3 they have in the grave, usually it's White Binder, and you just get rid of it immediately and it can't come back because they already made it come back, that's a W. That's a fat W. I'm not going to lie. I've done that a couple times in testing. It's very good. So I think that against that deck is really strong. I think that it's pretty good against the Yugioh deck, just to clear names. Another card that's not on here that I think is worth looking into, and it's always Cope, like it's always Cope, is Ghost Reaper. But Yugioh has zero way to get back to their cards. If you banish their detonators, they have zero, none ways to get back to detonator. So I really do think that Reaper has some good potential in this format if you're playing like Tenpai, or if you're playing like an anti-meta deck, or you don't have like cards in your extra deck you care to run and you can run like extra cards. Definitely a really interesting card, and I could see it for like Yugioh Mirrors. Again, want to see how the format develops, but Reaper has been pretty strong in terms of testing. Because I don't really know what more Yugioh does if they can't get back to Detonator. And, like, usually decks are like, oh, we have, like, this way that we can get back to it. But, like, they don't. So, it's definitely interesting. Keep that in mind. But I think that it has the potential to be really high impact. Lancia. So, it's tier 0 if you're playing against Malice. If you're playing against anything else, it's pretty bad. But, like, if you have Lancia against Malice, they better be siding like Heat Wave. It's so rough. If you get hit with Lancia, it's a death sentence. If Malice finds a way to play around Lancia, Malice will end up being the better deck. Until then, it's rough. Lancia is just tier 0. If you get hit with this in Malice, it is a rough go. It is not fun. Impulse, this is going to depend. This is going to depend. If Yugioh becomes the undisputed best deck, don't play it. Side it against the matchups that it's better against. This card is not in your main deck at all. If Malice is the undisputed best deck, and they banish White Binder, and you impulse it, they're kind of just dead. It depends what kind of extenders they have, but, like, it depends. It depends. I'm going to put Impulse on low impact for right now. It's a crazy card, one of the best hand traps we've ever got, but it depends on how the ban list goes and how the format shapes. Because, again, if it's Malice on top, it's pretty okay. If it's Yugioh on top, get out of here. You're not playing that card. It's really bad. So we'll have to wait and see. As far as cards that are just inherently broken, Fua, Perulia. Now, if you have these cards, there's starting to be more ways that you can play around these cards, so they're becoming, like, less crazy. They're still crazy, but there's starting to be a lot more half boards that people are putting up to be able to combat these a lot better. I've also seen people not exactly figure out how to play around these yet, but it's going to take a lot more time with play testing and figuring things out, which is definitely fine. I still think Perulia is better than Fua. That's still a belief that I have. If you disagree, let me know, but like I still think it's broken. It's same with like Shifter. I think Shifter is going to be like high impact. It's going to be really good if you're not playing against Ryzio or Malice. And some of them Atlas list are like heavy combo Cypress cards, and they need their graveyard. So you might get away with it if you play Shifter. But like Malice is also siding Shifter for the matchups where it's better. So like it'll be heavy impact, but only against the matchups where it actually matters. Because against Ryzio and against Malice, it's not like that good. If you drop it against Ryzio, it's still pretty fire because they can't use, I believe, the second effective node, and they can't use X. So definitely something that you want to keep in mind as well. But these three are still going to be like heavy impact, still very good. So keep that in mind moving forward. Perulia is still really good. It's like almost $90 now, which is pretty crazy. And then we have the new one. It's okay. It'll be a secret for sure. The new one is like fine. I would say pretty low impact. I think that it'll be okay, but in terms of like reborning, this is just another card you throw at Malice. So like until I see something that's gonna be like stellar, I don't think this card really does that much, right? It's like okay. Retaliating C, yet to be seen. We don't know if this card is going to be that good. Again, it's kind of like the Shifter situation, but like Shifter is just Shifter and it's better. But like if Snake gets hit really hard, then like Retaliating C becomes irrelevant until we see something else that like really cares about it. So we'll have to wait and see. Even like Mourner, I really don't like Mourner. It's pretty low impact in my opinion. This is a card that like you could run it. I'd probably run it over Valor right now if you're gonna run it, but like only two of them. I really don't like Valor this format. I do not think it's that good, and maybe that'll change. But like for now, I don't think it's that good. Same with Ogre. I think Ogre is gonna be like pretty low impact again. You can hit Duo Drive with it, but like it's not good in a Malice, and like we'll have to see how the rest of the format goes before we actually see if it's going to be like that good. The other card, I was actually just having a discussion about this on stream. I personally really hate Purge. I think the card sucks. It just stops adding. It doesn't stop like a special from deck. So it's like half an Ash Blossom. It's still nice to have like other Ash Blossoms, but like it's like okay. It's fine. I would say it's probably next to the other Dominus where it's like it's okay. Like if you run it, sure, if you can. But like I'm probably running like these over either of the Dominuses right now. And like if I'm running Impulse, it's in the side. But again, that only depends if Malice or Ryzio become the better deck of the format. So it's really going to depend, and I hate to say that it's going to depend because like we just don't know yet. But as far as an initial look, this is where I'm at right now. So I do hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a thumbs up. Let me know down below in the comment section what's your favorite Handtrap X format.